Welcome to another CTC Express Tool highlight. Today we're going to talk about the Revision Manager and give an introduction to what it can do for you. In an environment where revisions can be awfully tricky to manage and report upon, the Revision Manager actually provides an easy method for reporting on these revisions and for updating sheets with the revisions that are associated within a Revit project model. In a lot of cases, it's difficult to manage all sheets and views affected by any specific revisions. In Revit, to usually work with revisions, you have to draw revision clouds or go individually sheet by sheet and manage them. And that can be kind of frustrating. There's no real easy method to generate a revision report. And in a lot of cases, you want to apply revisions just to multiple sheets without drawing revision clouds in the first place, but you don't want to do it one by one. And there's no direct way in Revit Live to be able to do that. So we're going to talk about the general navigation of the Revision Manager. We're going to talk about saving basic revision reports, saving filtered revision reports, and also applying revisions directly to sheets. So with that, let's jump directly into Revit and take a look at what this can do. So I'm in a Revit project over here. And to get to the actual Revision Manager, I'm going to go to the Revit Express Tools tab at the top. I'm going to go to the Project Suite. And in the Project Suite is the Revision Manager. When you open up this tool, there's three basic tabs: a revision report for the basic reports, managing the revisions themselves, which really isn't changing anything. It's more obtaining reports that are very filtered. And there's also the ability to apply revisions directly to sheets. Sheets specifically, not views in this case. So let's start here on the revision report. If I click Save Report, what this will do is allow me the ability to generate from my project, typically named based on your project, an Excel file. This is just a basic Excel workbook, and once this is saved out, you can manipulate that file however you'd like. In a lot of cases, people will open up that revision file, delete the host, delete the ID, and just keep the sheet number, name, and the series of revisions over here. And you could then use one of our other tools, like Schedule Excel, to re-import that report right back into your project as a revision matrix, basically. Maybe throw it on your title sheet. Another way of generating reports is to generate a managed revision report over here. Now I can filter this down either by revisions that are in views directly. In this case, I have 3 revision clouds drawn in my project in specific floor plan views. Those floor plan views happen to be on sheets in this case, but I can see exactly what the revision numbers are and if there happen to be any marks or comments, which of course I can modify from here as well. So I can manipulate the revisions lightly. I can choose whether or not they're issued and whether or not those revision clouds happen to be hidden in those views. I can also go directly to revisions that happen to be on sheets and get sort of a breakdown of the revisions in my project instance by instance. So here in this case, I get revision number 1 happening to be on the title sheet. There's also revision 2, 3, and 4 associated with that same title sheet. Each one gets its own line item in this case. And once again, I can choose whether or not that's been issued. In this case, I do not have the ability to hide them on the sheets because they're directly applied to the sheet. They're not revision clouds drawn on the sheet. Now I also have the ability here to filter this down a bit. If I only wanted sheets in this case that were affected by revision 3, I can simply choose in this case, once again, on sheets, and I can choose the revision number that I'm seeking, revision 3. And then if I wanted to create for myself a print report that I could use later on, I could save this report out and then include this in some submittal at some point. Or I could potentially do maybe all things that are affected by revision 3. So in this case, the sheet number A101 has a specific view on it, which is my level 1 floor plan, that happens to be on that sheet. So it goes beyond just the sheet number itself, and it gives me just a little bit more information. You also have the ability over here to apply revisions to sheets. So if I wanted to go to a sheet that maybe didn't have a revision cloud on it, but perhaps I felt it was affected by a certain revision, I can select a specific sheet down here and tell it that I want it to be affected by maybe revision number 3. So maybe I can choose revision 3 in this case, simply check the box. That can be true for any of these. I can click back to revision 1, and once again I can just check the box in front of these And these, in this case, third floor plan enlarged now should be affected by revision 3. Actually, I have to apply this before it's fully done. So revision 1, check the checkbox here for third floor plan enlarged, click apply. That actually now applies to that sheet. You can see over here the revision sequence has revision 1. And if I was to do once again the same thing for revision 3, I could check the box, hit apply again, and now it has additionally revision 3. It only shows the latest revision here in the revision sequences, but if I was to now generate a report and showing exclusively revision 3, this A203A sheet, third floor plan enlarged, would show up. In fact, let's go here to manage revisions. What I will do is go all revisions for, in this case, once again, revision 3. And right here at the bottom, you can see there's the A203A third floor plan enlarged, which again, if I was to now save a report, would show up on that report. Or if I was to go back to the revision report tab over here, and I was to go find, in this case, 203A right there, I may have to refresh this. So if I was to close this and then reopen my revision manager, that front page would refresh itself, and I should have on A203A right there, there we go, there is sequence 1 and sequence 3, those two revisions that were applied to that particular sheet. So it's a very simple interface, very easy to use. Again, I can create reports. I could save out this Excel spreadsheet for this report, creating a revision matrix. I can create filtered revision reports here from the Manage Revisions tab, and also do some things like modifying marks, comments, and the issued status, as well as hiding those in views if need be. And then finally, over here on the Apply Revisions, I can update sheets explicitly. With that, let's talk about a few closing thoughts. The Revision Manager can make report generation very simple and rather efficient. You can understand exactly which views and sheets are affected by specific revisions in a very simple and straightforward interface, and you can again create those reports based on that. And also, you can apply revisions to multiple sheets without needing to have revision clouds or without having to go sheet by sheet to manually apply those revisions. Unfortunately, in Revit, you can't select multiple sheets and apply revisions directly, but now with the Revision Manager, you'll actually have the ability to do that. With that, thank you for watching this little introduction video to Revision Manager. And if you like what you see, perhaps subscribe to the CTC YouTube channel and maybe like the video, and also take a look at some of our other YouTube videos about Revision Manager and other tools as well.